I gotta get out of the house. Hey everybody, it's Drewsky Mcgillicuddy, and the time has come to do a movie review. And I figured since we're all technically under house arrest right now, or we're supposed to be, I figure what better movie to review than 2007's Disturbia, starring one of my favorite actors, Shia LaBeouf. And, he gets a bad rap, but, you look all the way back. This is excluding Even Stevens, because I could not stand that show for the life of me. But I believe once I saw this movie, Disturbia, I became a Shia LaBeouf fan. And this is my original copy that I bought for the 3 for $20 DVDs at Hollywood Video. As you can see, that it still has the Hollywood Video sticker on it. And I figure I recently picked it up at Big Lots while I was doing some essential grocery shopping. I picked up a Blu-ray. So I figure, why the hell not just throw it in the PS4 and try to get the secretary to watch a movie she ain't never seen before. But, she pretty much is like trying to watch a movie with a fucking teenager, because she just would not put her phone down. Now, once it got to the final act, she put her phone down, and it was nice. She got to see, why this is one of my favorite, was it? The 2000. Frank, why you just got? Fucking Jesus Christ. So, Disturbia is technically a loose retelling of Rear Window from Alfred Hitchcock, and this is from the guy that brought us Happy Death Day to You and Happy Death Day. It's the writer, but it's the director of like Eagle Eye, and then he did this one movie. It was horrible. I didn't see it, but I know it's horrible. Oh, the Disappointments Room. Even the fucking name Disappointments Room just sounds terrible. And I don't even know how I felt about Disturbia. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the only reason I even watched this movie was because I was working at the theater at the time, and it was free, and I just happened to pop my head in, and I was, right away hooked, because just the personality, I guess you would say, of Shia LaBeouf and his character, just like the personality of like all of his movies back then. He was just, even now, I mean, the guy is just full of personality. So Disturbia is about this, troubled youth, okay? His father passes away in an accident that he, was involved in. And about a year later, he's having a bad day at school. His teacher gets fresh with him, and he pops him in the jaw, or the eye. He dots his eye for him, basically.
What would your father think? No.
So this lands him in 3 months house arrest instead of being incarcerated because he's just shy of turning 18. The judge decides to be lenient on him because he knows that he just lost his father, and, losing a parent is very rough. I mean, I know from experience. So yeah, losing a parent is pretty rough. So the judge understands, and he takes it easy on him, and he tells him, hey, I'm cutting you a break. Don't make me regret it, or you'll regret it, pretty much is what he tells him. So he's going to be on house arrest. So, he's confined to his house, and the detective, played by Viola Davis, even tells him, hey, you're going to be, stuck in this house for up to 3 months. And he's like, and she tells him, I've seen people go loony after the second day. So, keep yourself preoccupied or occupied. Like, make construct construct your time wisely, something like that, she tells him, so that he doesn't go crazy. So sure enough, it goes straight to him playing Tom Clancy's Rainbow something or other, one of the Rainbow Sixes. I don't know which one it was, but he's playing the Xbox 360 with his friend, and then all of a sudden, he can't play Xbox 360 no more. His account has been deactivated. So he figures, well, I'll go listen to some music on iTunes. And he goes to listen, he logs in, and he can't log into his iTunes because whatever. So, his mom comes in and says, hey, I canceled this, I canceled that. That's what you get. This ain't going to be a vacation. And she tells him, clean your room. And, he's just sitting there flipping through the channels, and she's like, whatever. She's kind of like me. I ain't going to take nobody's shit no more. So he says, you're being a little dramatic, canceling my Xbox and my iTunes. So she goes over and she says, you want to see dramatic? And she cuts the cord for the television. So now he's out of a TV. So he's got to make the most of his time. So he can either clean his room, or he can just look out the window and spy on people. So that's what he does. He looks out the window and spies them. Because I thought at one point he kind of did clean his room. But then later on in the movie, his room's right back to being a filthy pigsty. And I don't know if I can find images or video clips of this because I don't have the fancy Blu-ray player. I can't do all the fancy editing that all these big fancy YouTubers do. But if I do, and here it is, if you're looking at it, he's got like the baddest ass bedroom of all movies of all time. Like, I can't think of a fucking cooler bedroom than the fucking bedroom in this movie. It's like bigger than my goddamn house. And like, I don't know. I guess it is a really fucking nice neighborhood, but it feels like he's got the entire top floor, but there's so many windows. Like because later on he starts spying on, every corner of his house. He's looking out the back window. He's spying on this person. He's looking out this side, spying on this person. This guy's cheating on his wife with the maid, and this girl over here, here's the new girl coming, Ashley, and she's hot. She's hot, and she makes you feel kind of like, am I a dirty old man because this girl's supposed to be 17, or is she 18? Is she old enough for me to be looking at her in a fucking bikini? Because, oh my God, it must be midnight. It's past my bedtime. Okay, hey, stop that. Okay, there we go, everybody. There we go. I stopped it. So anyway, this girl is hotter than shit, man. And, he's infatuated with her, and he's basically spying on her. He's spying on... while she's, she likes to swim a lot, and he likes to stare at her in her bikini, and then he watches her a little more than he should, and there's some scenes, and you're just like, you're kind of creepy, dude, maybe you should, I don't know. I don't even know, because, what if I was in that situation? Would I turn and look away? I mean, because at first, he does kind of turn and look away when, like, she's, like, unstrapping her bra in front of the mirror, and then he's like, oh, wait, no. But, anyway, it's, a bunch of teenagers being teenagers. You remember having hormones, don't you, everybody? But, like I said, his room, this whole house is just badass. But he goes around to every room, looks out every window, and he's got tabs on everybody in the neighborhood. And then he's got this one neighbor, and he says that he cuts his grass twice every day. And that's kind of suspicious, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who would cut their grass twice a day. I guess if you want to keep it looking crisp. But why twice a day? I don't know. That's just what he says in the movie. Anyway, this guy is supposedly killing people because there's this girl that had gone missing, and apparently she was last seen in this 60s model Mustang, and this guy's driving a 60s model Mustang, and the car she was seen in has a big old dent in it, and this guy's car's got a big old dent in it. But then when he goes and tries to tell people, like, hey, man, he's driving the murder car, and something, and I don't know. But anyway, basically, it's a movie. It's a fucking movie. All right, I'm getting ahead or behind myself. I don't know. But I just want to mention how, like I said, this was the first movie that I watched, or Transformers, one of the two. I watched this or Transformers, and it made me realize that, oh my God, maybe I don't hate this kid, because I could not stand, anytime I would be flipping through the channels and I accidentally clicked on Even Stevens, he just seemed like so annoying. But then, in this movie and like Transformers, just his personality and I guess you would say charisma and charm, just, I don't know, there's something about it. He seems like a real person. I don't feel like I'm watching a movie. I feel like I'm watching somebody that's really on house arrest, who's really this age, and like all of the character interactions, the interactions with his mother, the interactions with Ashley once he finally talks to her, because like I said, the beginning of the movie, he's like terrified to go over and talk to her, and he keeps talking to Rodney about, like, him and Rodney are both being little pervs, spying on her while she's swimming around in the pool, and then one day she happens to catch him, and then she comes over. But it's funny, like when they first meet, because he's like, I don't know if he's purposefully trying to look like a fool, reaching over the bushes, because he's not allowed to get a certain distance off his property. And you kind of find out what happens, because these kids across the street leave a flaming bag of dog shit. He goes out like a dummy and steps on it in his socks and then starts chasing him down the street, and it sets off his ankle thing, and then he kind of looks like a jackass when, like, his first encounter with Ashley and her parents. But yeah, the other thing is, like, with the writing and the directing of this movie, like, you don't even really meet her parents. You just see them from a distance. You see him from Kale. His name's fucking Kale, by the way. Like, what the fuck kind of a name is that for a person? You're named after a fucking leafy green. I get it. It's probably short for Caleb, but, it's spelled Kale, so what are you going to do? But anyway, what was I talking about? It doesn't fucking matter. So eventually, she catches them. She sees them seeing her swimming around, so she comes over and basically invites herself in, and then, gives herself a tour of the house and says, oh, are you spying on the neighbors? And then, they form a bond and a friendship, and then eventually it blossoms into a lovely romance. And as a matter of fact, because they start bonding over thinking that this neighbor is this guy from Texas that's been killing all these women. And, they kind of start building a little bit of, evidence to corroborate their story. I can't believe I'm getting all these fucking words to come out right. It's fucking exciting, everybody. Are you excited? Anyway, so the scene where it all culminates to, like, their romance just blossoming or whatever, because, like, they're already kind of friends and they're real flirty or whatever, but she's having a party and he's like, oh, okay, so you're going to conform with the preps and the bimbos and whatnot. So they kind of have like this heated, like, little moment, and then she goes off the party and, like, he's watching her and she knows he's watching her, and she keeps looking up. Did I mention, like, aside from this being like a really suspenseful thriller, it's also, one of those coming of age teen movies. So it's like a bonus. It's two great genres blended into one to make one cohesive, awesome movie that's PG-13 technical horror, because it's a suspense thriller. And that's why when people say that there's no good PG-13 horror movies, I say, shut the fuck up, stupid. But anyway, so she comes over and she's, they're whatever. She comes over because she sees him staring at her. She's like, why you keep looking at me? He's like, why you keep looking at me? And so he tells her, all the things that he sees, because she thinks, that, he's just creeping on her this whole time, but he's getting to know her from a distance because he can't be there. But he tells her all the little mannerisms that he thinks is cute, like when she goes to leave her room, but she stops to look in the mirror and sees a reflection, but she's not looking at herself like, I'm so hot. She's looking at herself like, who am I really? And, like, he just lays it on really thick, and then she tells him that's either the creepiest thing I've ever heard or the most romantic thing I've ever heard. And then they almost get it on. It's some of that PG-13 making out shit. But it made me feel awkward now that I'm like, a 36-year-old man watching these two 17 to 18-year-old kids stick their fucking tongues in each other's mouth. But hey, what are you going to do? So anyway, then they really start just spying on this guy, and it's played by, what's his name? He was in The Green Mile. He's the guy from The Green Mile. Damn it, what the fuck is it? He's in a bunch of stuff. But his performance and his character in this, because he's just so damn, like, I don't know, threatening is a good word for it. Just looking at him, just the look on his face, his presence, the way he, his posture is just threatening. And even though you're not necessarily sure the first time you watch this movie, before I fucking spoil everything for you, shit, did I spoil it yet? Oh well, it came out in 2007, but yeah, they're onto this guy, right? But he's onto them that they're onto him. So then he starts playing around with them, and it just gets real suspenseful, because there's this one scene where they're spying on him at the hardware store while Rodney goes over into the garage because they see him carry this like bloody bag into the garage after a night of chasing this lady around with a knife, but apparently they were fighting or something. I don't fucking know. Point is, it gets real suspenseful because he leaves the store. She loses track of him. He's got to get the hell out of there. Then all of a sudden he's standing there in the parking garage staring at her. She's like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden he gets in her car and he fucking locks the door and he tells her like, hey, I seen you seeing me and I'm kind of shy, but you're just this young little girl, and starts playing with her hair. And it's just like, oh my God, get the fuck out of the car. What are you doing? What are you doing? And it just leads to her basically telling them, oh, he's not that bad. I think maybe we should quit playing around because it's not a game anymore. It's not cute. Da-da-da-da-da-da. But, obviously they're not going to listen. They're a bunch of jackasses. But, they are onto something. So they keep investigating. And, he goes over. And then I don't want to like completely ruin the whole thing. But once we get into the third act, man, let me tell you, it doesn't matter what fucking rating the goddamn movie is, because sure, it could use a fucking F word or two. Maybe there is an F word in there. I don't know. Because usually a PG-13 movie gets one. But, yeah, this movie didn't need any F words. It also didn't need any blood or gore. I mean, there's a little bit of blood because there's a car accident at the beginning of the movie. But then once things happen, there's some very disturbing imagery for a PG-13 horror film. And it's, like I said, suspenseful as hell. And honestly, if I were to have to put a rating on it, like one of my fancy, what the fuck? Hold on a second, everybody. Anyway, I've strived. Is it strived? I've strived. I've looked for flaws with this movie, and the only flaw I could come up with is something the secretary said was, I can't tell you unless it's a spoiler, so this is a spoiler, everybody, so are you ready? Are you ready for the spoiler? He really was killing all those people, and there was a bunch of bodies in the basement, but his house didn't smell like rotting corpses. But if he would have all those bodies in the basement, his house would smell like rotting corpses. And with all the times the police had to come over because Shia LaBeouf kept setting off his little ankle bracelet, they'd have smelled those rotting corpses. But aside from that, I can let that slide because it's a fucking movie. It's here. She's just got to nitpick because that's just how she is. Anyway, aside from that, the movie is goddamn perfection. And I think it's one of the best reimaginings that there could be, because I haven't seen Rear Window since I was a tiny little baby fellow, so I wouldn't know. But this movie, it's just, from beginning to end, I love every single scene, like the dialogue in the movie, the chemistry between the characters, just the directing, the way the shots are, everything about the movie. I fucking love it, okay? I can't say, this would definitely be on my top 10 2000 to 2010 horror films, even though it's not necessarily a horror film. I don't fucking know. but it's damn good, and you should watch it if you haven't seen it, even though I just spoiled it. But, you know, it's one of those movies where you're not surprised. You're not surprised. You can tell from watching the trailer that, yeah, this guy's definitely killing people. Plus, you know, he's got that look on his face like, yeah, I stabbed the bitch and put her in my basement. So, anyway, I got no idea anymore, everybody. I'm going fucking crazy. So let me know if you've liked this. Also, you can comment and let me know your thoughts on Disturbia. Do you love this movie? Have you seen this movie? Do you want to see it even after I kind of spoiled it? Also, there's the subscribe button. If you're new here, I should start saying at the beginning of the videos, I should start trying harder. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try harder. I'm using the better, hopefully I sound better. Hopefully this looks better. I got this fancy sky blue behind me. I don't know why. I just like it. It just we're painting the living room. I'm tired of I like the maroon, but I'm just tired of there's no like. Don't fucking worry about it, okay? Do you like it though? And eventually we're gonna get some shelves with some lights and stuff. Like I keep saying that, and it never happens. But I swear to God, I'm gonna start trying real hard so that I don't suck. And you know, I want to get I want to go somewhere with this. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. Sorry, everybody. I've trailed off there for a minute. Anyway, if you want to help this channel, you could consider donating to my Patreon. I'd help. It would help out a lot, especially in these trying times. So also, if you can't, I completely understand because, you know, we need money for toilet paper. Anyway, that's all the time we've had for today. I'm going to get the hell out of here. You should probably get the hell out of here. See, I'm going to change it up every, each, fucking, just don't worry about it and leave, all right? Fucking itching.